On the weekday, the central square here in Podgorica, the capital of Montenegro, is pretty quiet. But over recent consecutive weekends, this tourist hotspot has turned into the epicenter of protests against the current government. Podgorica has not faced similar protests for more than 2 years since pro-Russian forces attempted a coup d'etat. On October 16, 2016, parliamentary elections were held in Montenegro. The pro-European Democratic Party of Socialists, headed by Prime Minister Milo Đukanović, won the run.
The opposition rejected the election results and demanded new ones. It considered the elections not to be democratic.
The opposition leaders who sought closer ties with Serbia and Russia instigated people to protest outside the parliament and presidential administration buildings. Ukrainian Maxim Kyashko has been living in Podgorica for 7 years now. He recounts what he witnessed on that day in 2016.
It was on this street. It's one of the central streets. The police blocked the traffic at that intersection so that cars wouldn't obstruct the protesters. When several buses carrying young people from Serbia entered the peaceful protest, it couldn't go unnoticed.
The night before the elections, local police detained a group of people. After the announcement of the results, they planned to organize an armed attack and help a pro-Russian party ascend to power.
Провоцировать силовые столкновения и попробовать штурмовать здание парламента.
They aimed to provoke violent clashes and tried to lead an assault on the parliament building. Other conspirators were going to get dressed in the uniforms of law enforcement officers and shoot at people from the parliament. Thus, they aimed to provoke violent clashes and riots. This could have changed the authorities.
20 people suspected of organizing the violence were representatives of local opposition parties, as well as citizens of Montenegro, Serbia, and the two Russians.
These Russians are like twin brothers of the well-known Salisbury's agents. These are exactly the same characters. While the Salisbury's agents went there to look at the spires, here they were engaged in writing, just like amateur writers. That's the tale.
The so-called writers are named Eduard Shishmakov and Vladimir Popov on their passports. However, Montenegro Special Services say that their real names are Shishmakov and Moiseyev, who work for Russia's main intelligence directorate. Now they are wanted by Interpol, but Moscow doesn't extradite them. The Serbian militants detained for a coup attempt in Montenegro by that time had already had experience in conducting these operations.
Serbian militants involved in this operation took part in different operations both in Crimea and Donbass.
Ukrainian campaign manager Taras Beresovets says that it was Ukraine's security service that helped its Montenegrin counterparts to reveal the names of these militants.
Our security service had been following them for several years, since the time when a significant number of Serbian mercenaries was noticed as part of the terrorist units in the Donetsk and Luhansk People's Republics. Details of this secret operation carried out by Ukraine's counterintelligence will be known only with the passing of time.
Ukraine's security service does not confirm that it was involved in this very operation. In turn, it responded to UATV in the following way.
Within the framework of relevant interdepartmental and intergovernmental treaties, Ukraine's security service constantly informs its partner special services of other states about the involvement of their citizens in illegal armed groups. Only one person among those arrested had the professional qualities that will allow him to organize something like that. It's a former Serbian General Dikic, who worked in the Serb military units.
Journalist Mihailo Jovovic says that there is no direct evidence of Russia's involvement in this operation. However, he believes that the Kremlin is connected with this story.
The issue of how well this operation was coordinated in Russia still remains open. This is Russia's style of conducting hybrid wars, and this is what's happening now in Ukraine.
Even now, pro-Russian Serbian forces continue their attempts to thwart the government of Montenegro. 2 years ago, it was done to prevent it from joining NATO. Now, the country is preparing to become a member of the European Union.
It is noteworthy that it seems to be against corruption and everything is so correct. But in fact, they have intensifying protests against the government and the prosecutor. It coincided in time with the investigation of the coup d'etat reaching its final stage.
I think Russia's battle for Montenegro is already lost in favor of the West.
Montenegro hopes to become a member of the European Union by 2025. Reported by Olya Volyanets from Montenegro for UATV.